Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping right into a huge topic for any factory floor: how you train new people. But forget the old, slow 6-month slog. We're talking about a system that uses AI to get a brand new hire fully productive in just 2 weeks. Seriously. Let's get into how it works.
And this quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? For years, the assumption was if a new hire is struggling, it's their fault. But what if that's totally backward? What if the real problem isn't the worker at all, but the training system we've been using for decades? So here's our game plan for today. We'll start by looking at what we're calling the old training trap. Then we'll see what happens when you flip that model on its head. We'll introduce you to your new AI coach, walk through that amazing 2-week transformation, and then zoom out to see what this means for the factory of the future. All right, so let's dig into the problem. The old way of training people for hands-on jobs isn't just a little inefficient, it's kind of fundamentally broken. It sets up this vicious cycle of frustration that's bad for the new hires and honestly just as bad for the experts who are trying to teach them. Just look at this breakdown, it says it all. Traditional training yanks you off the factory floor and sticks you in a classroom. Any feedback you get on your work might come days or even weeks after you've made a mistake. And how do you know if you've passed? When a supervisor glances over and says, looks about right. It's all based on this rigid, one-size-fits-all schedule that can drag on for months.
So to fix this, you can't just make small adjustments. You have to completely flip the model. We're talking about getting rid of the abstract classroom stuff and getting people into real, hands-on action from the moment they walk in the door.
And the secret sauce to making this work is this idea of a micro-scale. Look, instead of trying to teach someone a huge, complex job like make a shirt, you break it down into the tiniest possible pieces. You know, a complex task is just a chain of simple things. Sewing a perfectly straight line, that's a micro-skill. If you can master all the little lengths, you've mastered the whole chain.
And this right here, this is the new philosophy, the new rhythm. You learn one tiny skill, you immediately use it to make a real thing. If you mess up, you get corrected on the spot, not next week. And because of that, you get better every single day. It's this super tight, rapid-fire loop of doing, fixing, and improving that happens right there on the line. So you're probably thinking, okay, that sounds great, but how do you do that without having an expert trainer watching over every single person's shoulder? Well, that's where the AI comes in. And you shouldn't think of it as some scary, complicated algorithm. It's much simpler. Think of it as a personal coach that plays 3 very specific, very powerful roles. First up, the AI is your universal translator. You know those thick, technical manuals that nobody ever reads? It turns them into simple, one-page pictures. It gives you these tiny 15-second video clips that show you exactly how to do it right, and just as important, what the most common mistakes look like. And here's the kicker: with one click, it translates everything into the worker's own language. Boom! Language barrier gone. Next, the AI acts as a watchdog, and I mean that in the best way possible. It just uses a simple phone or tablet camera to watch you work in real time. If your hand is even slightly out of position, it tells you right then and there with a visual cue on the screen. It's constantly comparing what you're doing to a perfect, golden sample from an expert. Every single movement becomes a chance to get it right. And role number 3, the AI is your scorekeeper. And this is so important because it's completely impartial. It's not about feelings or who the supervisor likes. It's all data. It tracks your quality, speed, consistency, and how often you have to fix things. And then it does something brilliant. It automatically finds your top 3 recurring mistakes and builds a training plan just for you. No more guesswork, just hard evidence. Okay, so we've got the concepts. But what does this actually feel like for a new person walking onto the job? Well, their journey from day 1 to being a productive member of the team is incredibly fast and focused. Let's walk through it. On day 1, you do the essential safety briefing, and then you get right to it, mastering your first couple of micro skills, just pure focused repetition. By day 2, you're already on the actual production line, doing real work on low-risk stuff with the AI coach right there with you. For the rest of that week, it's all about building a steady rhythm and crushing those top 3 errors the AI found. And by week 2, you're already starting to stitch those micro skills together into more complex tasks. So the big question, does it actually work? Oh, you better believe it. Just look at this chart. It's insane. After just 10 days, someone trained the old way as maybe at 10% productivity, but the AI-assisted worker, they're already hitting 80%. That is not an improvement. That is a completely different reality. An eightfold jump in productivity in 2 weeks, that changes everything.
And get this, the magic doesn't stop with the new hires. This number, 50%, is all about your most valuable employees, your senior experts. This system can cut the time they spend on repetitive, basic training by at least half. Imagine freeing up half the day for your master craft people. That's time they can now pour into real innovation and solving the tough problems that only they can tackle.
So when you really zoom out and think about it, you start to realize this isn't just a new training gadget. This is a fundamental change in how a company manages its most important asset, the skills of its people. You're basically turning knowledge into a digital asset you can manage, scale, and deploy in an instant. And this changes the jobs people do, for the better. Your absolute top experts. They stop being repetitive teachers. They become golden sample experts. They record the perfect way to do a task one time, and that becomes the standard for everyone. Your line leaders become buddies who help manage the workflow, using the AI's data to see how everyone's doing. And the old trainers? They become the crucial system admins, managing this new digital library of skills.
What you're left with is what you could call a living skill factory. Think about it. A new product comes down the line. You don't need months to get ready. An expert records the new micro skills, and you can build and deploy a brand new training program to your entire workforce in as little as 48 hours. The whole operation becomes incredibly fast and agile.
So we want to leave you with one big final question to chew on. We've seen how this tech can get new people up to speed at a shocking pace. But if any hands-on skill can be broken down, digitized, analyzed, and taught perfectly by an AI coach, what does it really mean to be an expert anymore? What does that look like in the future?